What's up, planner peeps? This is Sarah from Imperfectly Planned. If you've ever wanted to add your own pages to a disc planner or a Laurel Denise planner, think printed inserts, custom templates, notes pages, whatever, this little tool is the thing that makes it possible. Let's get into it. This is the Bira Craft Mushroom Hole Punch, and today I'm going to show you exactly how it works and how to get those pages into your planner so that they sit really nicely. A fellow Laurel Denise love asked me about how I'm using this punch, and I wanted to share because I feel like my comment in the Facebook group just wasn't clear enough. So here we go. And if you've been eyeing the Laurel Denise disc drop that's coming on June 22nd, this is going to be really relevant to you. Okay, so first, why is it called a mushroom punch? Because the hole it creates is in a plain circle. It cuts a little mushroom shape, a round cap on top with a narrow stem here. And that shape is what locks into the disc and keeps your pages from falling out. This is the standard disc bound hole pattern. It's compatible with the Happy Planner, Classic, Mini, Big, and then soon to be the Laurel Denise disc planners, and really most, if not all, disc systems. I'm not like a disc expert. This is just my experience, what I've used before. And you see how these match. That's what we're going for here. And funny enough, I actually have a big Happy Planner punch on the way, but this one will still get some use. It'll just sit at my second desk. But a few things to know before you start. One, there's a little tray at the bottom that catches all of, I like to call it confetti. You'll want to empty that periodically, otherwise it gets messy or it gets full and it'll just pop open on you. Two, the punch has guide marks here on the side so that you can line it up. And again, I'll show you exactly what you need to do for the Laurel Denise wire O, because it does work in that as well, not just discs. And the classic size is what most of us are going to be using with a standard like Laurel Denise setup when they come out. And then three, the handle takes a little pressure, so not a lot, but don't expect it to be effortless when you're punching like multiple sheets at a time. Okay, let's punch some pages. So step one, line your paper up to the guide mark for your planner size. For classic size or Laurel Denise, I'm going to use the classic side, or like the classic marker. Slide the paper in from the side. And then step two, punch. Just press the handle down firmly. You'll feel it go through. And look at those holes. Perfect little mushrooms. And then step three, move along the edge and punch the next hole. You work your way across the page, or 2 holes at a time, depending on which punch you have. I think this one's pretty standard. I'll link it down below. And as you see, I'm going to show what it looks like just punching for like a regular Happy Planner Classic size, and then also what I did for the Laurel Denise wire O. This is the large size. I will also try and show the small size here. But basically you just get into a rhythm of punching. I'll mark these a little bit. Hopefully I can show this pretty well. I'll mark where you need, because it's a little funky at the top of the page because it's not exactly lined up for the wire O. But once you do a few pages, you'll kind of get the flow and it'll be a lot easier. So let me show that here. Okay, and so showing this for, I'm going to move this out of the way. Sorry, I voiced over half of this and then the other half I'm doing here. So apologies if the audio is a little weird. But for both of the wire O's, so like this is obviously like the same size as the small. Sorry, let me get this out of the way so I can actually show you. So this is basically the same pattern. There's less coils on the small, than here, but it's the same pattern. So you would just keep punching all the way down. But I'll show you what I do basically, and I'll try to make this as clear as possible. Apologies for the shaky hands. So I line it up with the classic line. I punch it once. The next thing I do is scoot it up until the first hole that I made lines up with the first, like this bottom hole here. And then I went ahead and marked in Sharpie, hopefully you can see that well enough, where you need to stop for the next one. So you raise it up. You don't actually get to line it up with a mushroom shape here. So that I think is probably where the confusion was. And then you go up a little more. Now it lines up. And then every time you want to stop at this one. So the next hole needs to stop here. The next hole needs to stop here. Hopefully this is clear. The next hole needs to stop here. And you go all the way. And this is already misaligned, I can tell, because the mushrooms are a little big, but that's okay. For demonstration purposes, it should work out just fine. Okay, so now I've punched all of the bottom ones, but you'll see I have a bit of a gap here. And one way to show you, this actually took me a while, and really it's just trial and error, because as long as you're punching now, it always lines up with a mushroom, you can always, it'll always just re-punch something. So if you line it up perfectly, it won't actually punch anything. But to get these top holes, so this one's going to be a little funky, but to get this hole here and this one here, you actually want to take from those first two holes that you made, you want to go down by one. So where's my marker? Okay, so you want to mark here, and maybe do it in pencil. This is Sharpie, but you want to mark here, and this is where you want to line it up at the bottom. So now I'm using these down here. You want to line it up at the bottom and punch, and that will give you your last holes there. And then I'll show you, you can just slot it in. Like I said, the top one's a little funky, but it just takes trial and error. And it goes in really nicely like that, and it flips just fine. I love this method. It's been great for adding stuff. Okay, back into the video. The fun part, getting these pages into your planner. So both disc planners as well as the Laurel Denise Wire O planners, you just line the holes up and kind of just snap them right into the wire or onto the discs, and it just snaps really nicely. I find it super satisfying, actually. But basically, to insert it, you just flex it slightly and pop the holes onto the disc or the coil one at a time, starting at the top and working your way down, or whichever makes the most sense for you. And it should feel secure, not loose, not forced. If it's too loose, the holes might be slightly misaligned, so I do recommend repunching that page. If you've messed it up, you can certainly like reinforce it with some tape and kind of repunch it so that it works well. And just like that, your custom page lives right inside your planner like it was always there. This is honestly one of my favorite things about disc planners. You can just make them completely yours. Whatever you need to punch in, you can put in your planner. It's super simple. So here's why I wanted to make this video right now specifically. Laurel Denise is dropping new discs on June 22nd. It's the Thumbelina collection that they've had going on this year. And if you're anything like me, a new drop means you have to get something, and that is exactly what I'll be doing. If you're adding new sections or printing custom dashboards or inserting printable pages, like say a certain 7-page planning kit, I might know one if you need one. You need a disc punch to do it. And this one is compact, it's pretty affordable, and does the job really well. I'll link everything in the description, including the punch, and if you want to grab a Laurel Denise planner, my code is imperfect10. It gets you 10% off. And that's all there is to it. Punch, align, insert, and once you do it a couple of times, it takes maybe 30 seconds per page. If you're new to disc planners, I'd love to hear about it. I think they're really cool. Some people absolutely loathe them. I like them. They're super, super awesome if you want a really custom planner. So I do recommend, if you want to give it a try, go ahead and do it. I think Laurel Denise, they're obviously my favorite planners, so I think they're a great place to start. You can buy the guts for an undated 3 months at a time, which I think is really great. You can use it as you need it. And if you have any questions about the punch, about disc sizing, about the Wire-O planners, or the spiral planners like the Scout and the Luna, let me know. And if you have any questions about the drop on the 22nd, drop them in the comments, and I'll do my best to help you out. Thanks for watching.